Because for years, they've gotten unlimited support from the base. Not only have they been legitimized, they've gotten mainstream approval from the base. So they already have an established legitimacy with the rank and file of the party. So now they can pick up all of the other people on top of that from the center and from the left. And look at Trump's new post about Tucker Carlson. Put Liz Smith in parentheses. No, it's fine. Anyway, can't believe I was able to witness your worst take live. Wait, what? What the f did Trump say about True Social? On True Social. Oh my God, he's effort posting. Jesus Christ. Wait, did I misspell something? Will Mallory McMorrow condemn the racist attacks Abdul El-Sayed has received so far, since she sat down with a Jewish insider and compared me to an avowed Nick Fuentes? Otherwise, this is a repeat of the heinous game Andrew Cuomo played against Zoran. What? What's the problem? Oh. Oops. This take comes off as kind of cringy in my opinion. No, it's like the game that liberals love playing. The president posting a stake-sponsored photo is wild. Casino takeover of culture is reaching endgame where the only question is, oh my God, all my ops are aligned with one another. It is crazy. All my ops, dude. That's unbelievable. What is this? This is a massive blow to the global oil supply. Confirmed strike on Saudi Arabia's east-west pipeline has knocked out 7,000 barrels per day, about 10% of its 7 million BPD maximum capacity, hitting the kingdom's only bypass to the Strait of Hormuz. Separately, attacks on upstream fields. Oh, okay. We'll get to that. Hold on. We'll do bye-bye oil in a second. Let's see what Donald Trump is saying here. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Oh my God, it's so long. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Yeah, except you're doing a presidential crash out on a bunch of podcasters, and obviously if they were irrelevant, you wouldn't be doing that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, and perhaps even more significant than that, is that you won by a landslide in an election where people were feeling the impact of the inflation and also were frustrated by, the war, the genocide that was going on. Okay, and not only that, but you position yourself as a no new wars candidate, and now you're going against that. So yes, on the one hand, you obviously have your cult who will stand by you no matter what. But it's ridiculous to claim that like this is what you won the election for. It's the exact opposite. You are not following through on the spirit of MAGA. Unless, if we're being really honest about it, and Trump certainly is, the spirit of MAGA is whatever the Donald Trump wants it to be. And just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox, and he's never been the same. Perhaps you should see a good psychiatrist or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace Owens, who accused the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not. Ooh, you shouldn't bring that up. That's like one of Candace's most popular positions, I think. And you just kind of look like you're defending France, which you never want to be doing, And will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Oh my God, you're hoping that a French person that is associated with Macron defeats an American conservative commentator in a lawsuit about false accusations of being trans. Oh my God, this is worse than Trump being like, I love Israel. I put Israel before Americans. From the perspective of like his own fan base, he could just get away with saying like, I love Israel. Israel's the greatest country on earth, whatever, right? They also are evangelical Zionists anyway. But this unironically hits, dude. This hits Trump's base directly on the head. He's coming across like he's in support of not just any Frenchman, but Macron. He's coming across as disparaging a trans panic adjacent rumor, which again, his base eats up. It's very crazy. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. It's crazy. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things. Okay, again, he's bankrupt because he fought for conservatism from the perspective of like Republicans, right? Who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune as he should have for his horrendous attack on the families of Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. You might as well yell at Alex Jones for being an anti-vaxxer next. What the fuck? Buddy, you went on a show after he did that. Oh my God, what a fake friend he is. I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like this might actually cause a real fissure in the base. It's clear that he's been watching the movement taking place on the independent media side. And he knows that like independent media is fully pulled out, right? The podcasters don't with him no more. Even Joe Rogan is like anti-Israel now, or anti-Israel curious at least. He's clearly been bottling up all of this anger and resentment about his most loyal servants in independent media. And he's basically lost them. Who does he have on the Republican side, on the independent media side? Who does he have remaining? Ben Shapiro? Ben Shapiro's done. He's dead. He's got nothing. It doesn't make any sense. He's got Kat Turner and Erica Kirk and Ben Shapiro. Patrick Bet-David, I guess. This is the bridge day he was talking about. He's burning all of them. Yeah, it turns out he's not burning bridges in Tehran. He's burning bridges in the United States of America. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers just trying to latch on MAGA. As president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. Oh my God. He sounds like such a bitch. I'm too busy doing presidential work. I'm too busy being president. I'm dealing with the country and the world. I don't have any time except for writing this long effort post about them. They go nasty just like Marjorie Trader Brown, but I no longer care about that stuff. Yeah, even though I'm talking about it clearly, and it definitely do care about it quite a bit. I only care about doing the right for our country. MAGA is about winning in strength in not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that, but I do because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world, President Donald J. Trump. This is the dominoes, dude. This is the dominoes falling, right? Like the events that have unfolded so far have led to this real fissure. First, it was the Epstein stuff, right? Donald Trump comes out and talks shit about Jeffrey Epstein and like farms the conspiracy right, and then totally pivots away from it. Yeah, this was the reason why he's coming after Tucker. We'll watch that first. Tucker cooked his ass in a way that I think is actually pretty thoughtful, weirdly enough. I still don't trust him, obviously. I still think what Tucker Carlson... Here, I know what the game is right now, by the way. I think what Tucker Carlson is doing is establishing as much legitimacy and credibility as possible in the anti-Israel flank so that he can either personally run and take over the MAGA base, which he will be able to, regardless of what Trump is saying right now, or potentially he will lend that credibility to like a J.D. Vance. He's already positioned himself as like claiming that there are voices inside of the White House that are actively fighting against Donald Trump waging war in Iran at the behest of Israel. And you can tell he's talking about J.D. Vance without openly saying it. So I think Tucker Carlson is either going to lend his credibility to J.D. Vance that he has developed in this space. He will be either a kingmaker or he will run himself. Okay?
Who do you think you are? You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? You'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war, that's a good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions. You may have a problem with the theology. Presumably you do if it's not your religion, and you can explain what that is. But to mock other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself. And
dude, he is so... God. I can feel as soon as this is published, as soon as this video is published, I can literally sense every Bangladeshi unk spreading this far and wide in every WhatsApp group you have ever thought of, and many you will never even see. Okay? This is a nuclear bomb for the ummah. Okay? The entire Islamic world saw a white man who looks white as shit, by the way, like not just any white man, but one of the whitest, sitting in his log cabin, wearing a poplin shirt, shit on the president for disrespecting Islam. I'm telling you right now, every unk will forever be every Muslim unk will forever be a fedayeen for Tucker Carlson. Okay? Like they already love Jackson Hinkle, right? They love Jackson Hinkle. And they now forever will demonstrate absolute loyalty to Tucker Carlson.
Should never mock that, because at its core is the acknowledgement that we are not in charge of the universe. We did not build it. We won't be here at the end of it. We can destroy life. We cannot create it because we are not God. The message of all faith.
Yeah, there's two things that will give you forever praise from Muslim unks and aunties all around the world. If you're a white guy or a Christian and you revert to Islam, it's over, okay? It doesn't matter how fake or phony it is. Andrew Tate is a great example of this. He never actually converted to Islam at all. He just simply said it, and then everybody loved it. They literally went crazy mode for him. Muslims love a white Christian or just any Christian converting to Islam. They will literally put you on the highest pedestal possible. That's number one. Number two, if you defend against Islamophobia, if you defend Muslims against Islamophobia, if you defend the faith, oh my God, as a white guy, as a Christian, oh my God, is the highest praise of all time.
At the biggest picture level is the message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective. We are not a theocracy. And God willing, we never will be, because theocracies corrupt the religion. No, this is a mockery not just of Islam. It's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it, you are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. That is an intentional desecration of beauty and truth, which is the definition of evil.
Yeah, no, this is perfectly crafted, right? Perfectly tailored message. He establishes position of authority as like a true Christian who loves God and loves Christianity and shit on the excesses of Trump. Okay. But here are the other reasons, right? Like, number one, Candace Owens, the 25th Amendment needs to be invoked. He's a genocidal lunatic. Our Congress and military need to intervene. We are beyond madness. Okay? Candace Owens said that. I can't even like it because I'm blocked by Candace Owens. Candace Owens, unblock me. I'm a clandestine operator. I've given you money. Please. Then Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly also had some choice words about the predicament in Iran, right? Let's hear what she had to say.
I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human? I mean, honestly, like the president, 3 yes, shut up. Shut up about that shit. You don't threaten to wipe out an entire civilization. We're talking about civilians just casually in a social media post. You know, like, I am the first to try to understand Trump and his strategy and to not freak out over his weird social media posts and language that is loose and incendiary. Truly, I've lived with it for 10 plus years. I learned it the hard way when I was on the receiving end of it for 9 months. And truly, I think that was a gift to me in many ways because it helped me really come to understand what he does with his social media. But this is completely irresponsible and disgusting. This is wrong. It's wrong. He should not be doing it. I don't care that it's his negotiation is to kill an entire country full of civilians, men, women, and children, an American president, so that the Strait of Hormuz will be opened. It's just wrong. It's not hard to say it. It's not hard to recognize it. I wish he would stop doing this.
For the record, some of you will remember Megyn Kelly defending the concept of pedophilia in an effort to justify Trump's allegiance with Jeffrey Epstein. She did that famously, right? So you might be asking yourself why this is a bridge too far. And to all of you, I say, sorry, that's not what I say. To all of you, I say, it's because Israel is so unpopular that it's becoming unpopular in the only resilient base of support for Israel in this country, not Jews, mind you. Many of you might think Jews are the most supportive of Israel. It's not correct. This is not the correct assessment for two reasons. Number one, not that many Jews, okay? Number two, even Jews are split on the issue of Israel and defending Israel. There's one group, however, that is massive and has outsized influence in the base of support of the Republican Party. And they, at least until recently, were not split on the issue of Israel. And I say recently because there's a fissure there as well. And that is evangelicals, white evangelicals. Okay? Now white evangelicals are also separating themselves from Israel. And it feels like Donald Trump is the last to notice. But these guys are noticing it. So they know the ship is sinking. Okay? And they're fucking pulling out.
Like, he can't negotiate without doing this? What does that say about him? What does that say about the position that our country is in right now in these negotiations? He's got to say this? He can't be a dignified, strong leader without threatening a bunch of war crimes?
Yeah. No, she knows the Iran war is unpopular. It will be reflected on in an unpopular way. And so she's pulling out.
Learn it.
I can't believe I find myself agreeing with every word of this from Megyn Kelly. Thank you, Megyn Kelly, for saying what everyone is thinking. She went on Piers Morgan and also continued this rant against Donald Trump. But what's really frustrating to someone like myself is, what are the top Democrats doing in this moment, right? What are the top Democrats doing in this moment? Because Republicans are, either because of their loyalty to Donald Trump or because of their theological justifications for, attaching themselves to whatever Israel's ambitions are still very supportive of Israel, right? But the Democrats don't have such considerations. As a matter of fact, Democrats have completely dropped Israel off a map. They're saying, cut ties with Israel. And unfortunately, the National Democratic Party is not presenting those needs, is not representing themselves as responsive to those needs. And that's very frustrating. Part of the reason why it's obviously frustrating to me personally is because one of the manifestations of their inability to address this issue has led to them attacking me aggressively. This creates a massive information vacuum. It creates a massive messaging vacuum where the top line figureheads are always going to be the people that have the most credibility on this issue are always going to be the Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly. It's fucked up because for years they've gotten unlimited support from the base. Not only have they been legitimized, they've gotten mainstream approval from the base. So they already have an established legitimacy with the rank and file of the party. So now they can pick up all of the other people on top of that from the center and from the left. And they are doing that right now. They're doing that at this moment. Okay? Someone like myself, on the other hand, has been consistently outcast from the base, cast aside, pushed aside, yelled at, been presented as a pariah figure, or never really looked at all until 2024 election happened and the failures were very obvious. And the Democratic Party and the liberal media apparatus was desperately trying to find a Joe Rogan equivalent, only to then turn around and be like, oh, fuck, we didn't like the Joe Rogan thing at all, actually. Shut the fuck up, son. You are a danger to the party. Okay? The Democratic establishment needs a hard pivot starting yesterday on Israel. Unfortunately, still not there yet. Meanwhile, the worst people, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Megyn Kelly, are expressing the majority opinion, self-destructive and political incompetence for what? See, here's the issue, okay? Here's the other problem here. Here's the other issue. When people like Bassem Youssef and other prominent figures that are on the anti-Zionist, anti-Israel side actually lean into these figures, like Candace Owens, like Tucker Carlson, when Norm Finkelstein leans into these figures like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, you have to understand something. From their calculation, Israel is far more dangerous right now. And it's true because from their perspective, they see some of these people look at, really horrible ideals dangerous ideals like anti-Semitism and bigotry of other sorts as somewhat irrelevant as opposed to the real danger that is currently slaughtering people. Okay? That argument, there is legitimacy to that argument, right? It's like the equation between Randy Fine and Nick Fuentes, right? Randy Fine and Nick Fuentes have all of the same opinions, except Randy Fine is pro-Israel and Nick Fuentes is anti-Israel. And if you look at a figure like Randy Fine and you look at a figure like Nick Fuentes, okay, the reality of the matter is, given that they are literally identical in every opinion, Nick Fuentes' anti-Israel opinion, especially at a time when Israel is slaughtering people by the tens of thousands and taking over other countries, and on top of that, like goading America into going and waging war in Iran and destroying global markets, that gives a competitive edge to Nick Fuentes over Randy Fine. And Randy Fine is a sitting congressman. It's unbelievable. This is not a defense of Nick Fuentes, but this is to try to explain to you the calculation that people are making, right? I thought Nick Fuentes isn't anti-Israel, he's anti-Jewish. I mean, he is. He's both. He's both. Emphasis on sitting, yes. This is a real issue, okay? This is a real issue. And it's the exact same issue that took place in the 2024 election, where Kamala Harris said, Iran is our number one enemy, and I will make sure that we protect Israel against Iran. She said those words, right? While the administration that she was a part of was continuing the genocide of Palestinians that she refused to acknowledge with the words necessary. She said she was going to have the most lethal military. When she presented herself as this person, Trump had an opportunity to lie about being the peace candidate. And I stressed that over and over again. I said, Donald Trump is lying, but Democrats are giving him the option to lie. Then Liz Cheney comes into play. Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney are parading around. They get a Dick Cheney endorsement last second, leaning into the idea that the Democrats are going to be the pro-war party. And while Donald Trump himself was never anti-war, he was able to convince people that he would be the peace candidate, that he would be the anti-war candidate. Okay? They would not have been able to do that if the Democrats had established credibility as the anti-war party. It's that simple. Because the Democratic base was demanding a change. They were demanding to bring Israel to heel even back then. Poll after poll showed this reality, and they refused to engage with this sincerely, and they're doing it again. They're going to create an opening for people like Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson to give their credibility that they've developed here, not just amongst Republicans, mind you, credibility with the left, credibility with the center, credibility with the independents and Democratic Party voters. And they're going to lend that credibility to whichever candidate runs next. J.D. Vance from taking place. If you can't see that right now, you're fucking delusional. And the Democrats, regardless of what their base is fucking standing, refuse to lean into the moral position. They refuse to lean into the majority position. They are trying to throw their electoral chances out the fucking door, and they will present the marginal victories that they might get in the midterm election, because there's a lot of fucked voters out there right now, as a reason for why they don't have to change a damn thing. Okay? Yeah. As we see more and more the liberal base demand the Democrats fight back, I remind you of this whisper rant from the last night of the DNC where I issued warnings to the Kamala campaign about pivoting to the right and the inevitability of defeat. They're doing it again. It's They're doing it in real time.